Welcome to the Silhouettes of Success podcast with your host, successful entrepreneur, broker, and business mentor, Amber Weitzer. Because success comes in all shapes, sizes, and styles, the Silhouettes of Success podcast is shining the light on industrious women with a collection of curated conversations of intentional inspiration designed to inspire your heart, ignite your mind, feed your soul, and gift you with actionable insights directly from inspirational, everyday women who've shown tenacity, grit, and grace, having taken on the challenges in their lives and business and won. Remarkable, down-to-earth, and relatable, Amber and her guests will share with you uplifting and extraordinary real-life success stories, motivational ideas that just might help spark something within you. With the deepest desire to serve you, help you grow so you can begin to shine the light that will illuminate your very own silhouette of success. So, let's get to it.
Hello and welcome to the Amber Weitzer podcast, Silhouettes of Success. Our VIP featured guest is the owner and operator of Studio 74 Vintage, Fort Worth's premier multi-award-winning vintage clothing store for women and men located in the heart of Fort Worth, Texas, a must-stop destination shopping location. Her background includes a collective of 25 years in law enforcement. She is a self-taught photographer and portrait artist, collector and lover of all things history-related, antique, vintage, and a wannabe archaeologist. And I think there's a story she'll share. Her styling talents have been showcased in the production of 1883 for a piece in Fort Worth magazine. She has styled a customer in the likes of Jackie Kennedy Onassis, and her images accidentally landed in Photo VOGUE. She's collaborated with Justin Boot Company and so many others. We're going to let her dive into that. Her store is frequented by local celebrities, and she's provided clothing for several film productions. Silhouette, let's get her on. Please help me welcome Laura Simmons to the show. Hello, Laura. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. If we can give a quick shout out to a mutual and most fabulous friend of ours. Miss Luann, the one and only Jones.
Duh.
And, I have to tell you, I followed you. Okay, audience, we're jumping off script here, but that's okay. I followed you for eons on your Instagram. And when I met Luann, I was telling her, oh my gosh, there's a store in Fort Worth. She goes, oh my gosh, my friend, and da. And she said, here, let me show you what I did. And her images, your images, that photo shoot was one of the things that absolutely captured my attention back in the day. So how funny is that that was her?
That's crazy. I love Luann. She's a hoot.
She is. She is just, she just illuminates. So, all right, milady. So hello, Luann. We love you. And we are back with Laura here. So I think it was hopefully meant to be at one point that I was able to connect with you. So Laura, as you share your Silhouette of Success story and journey with us, let's just kick it off by having you share with the audience the early shaping of your Silhouette of Success by talking more about your background.
Okay. Well, I have been a police officer for the better part of my life. That's something I knew that I wanted to be when I was a little bitty kid, 3, 4, 5 years old. So I followed that route. Went to the police academy, I think it was 1995, retired in 2019. Collectively, I've worked for 3 different cities, so spanning 25 years. Lots of experience, lots of stories to tell. I've seen a lot of things. But during that time, I'm a very creative person by nature. I get that from both of my parents, who are artists in their own right. So I kind of started dabbling in photography a little bit, and also by accident. I took some pictures of my niece in my mother's house, it's a historic house that I grew up in. So my parents were quite a bit older than most people's parents my age. So I grew up loving, their old music, their cars, their ways. They were, born during the Depression, World War II, all that good stuff. So I dressed my niece up one day. I did her hair and her makeup. I took pictures of her and put them on Facebook. Well, before you knew it, I was doing a friend of hers and a friend of that friend and a friend of that friend, and it just kind of took off. And before you know it, I was making more money doing that than I was as a police officer. So that kind of snowballed into me loving the old clothes and collecting the old clothes for like my client wardrobe that I would use for photos. So then I decided wasn't going to do the photos anymore, and I wasn't going to collect these clothes anymore that, you know, sat around in my house and took up room. So I sold them all off. Before you know it, I'm back at Goodwill, back at Thrift Town, back at estate sales, buying them. I couldn't stop. I felt like I had to rescue them. And that was just kind of a, you know, a little side hobby. I never knew really what I was going to do with them other than I was, you know, collecting them for myself. And then when I retired in 2019, it just, I mean, it was one of those little nagging notions that I just kept having that I wanted to try my hand at having a store. And here I am.
It was very poetic how you just said rescue them. It's clearly part of your nature going back to your years of law enforcement. So if I can hit a quick pause on that just in the conversation and just give you so much respect and appreciation for your service.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
I tell you, wow. Thank you. Thank you. So going back to knowing when you were so young about being a police officer, how do you think, what was the pull back then? Do you remember, did you used to play, or how did you know to go to, you know?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea. One thing that I told somebody recently, my dad was in World War II and passed away when he was 95, 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So he was 55 by the time I was born. Every now and then I would beg him to let me see his old war photo album. And he normally didn't like to talk about that, didn't tell too many stories about that. And for whatever reason, me being the last child, he never really showed that to my sisters too much like he showed it to me. I think I begged him to see those pictures. And that kind of probably subliminally, somehow, subconsciously sparked something in me where I became kind of interested in death, homicide, crime scene, anything along those lines. So it's just something that I knew I was always going to do.
Mm-hmm. It was your curiosity.
I guess so.
Very intriguing. Yeah.
Yes, I'm a very curious, inquisitive person by nature and a researcher by nature.
Love it. Love it. Well, that means it never gets boring.
Yeah, no, it never gets boring around here at my house.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Oh, amazing. So thinking on, you know, we love to share best practices and just kind of dive in. The alarm clock goes off or whatever you use. Maybe it's the sunshine. Maybe, you know, you just naturally get up and your work day or your business day now begins. What does a day in the life look like for you with your business now and you've shifted? Are you structured? Are you creative and spontaneous? Is there a routine? What works for you?
All of that, every bit of that wrapped up in one. I mean, each day is a little bit different. I mean, I get up, I'm taking care of, you know, all the animals and horses around the house and, you know, dropping packages off at the post office and dry cleaning at the cleaners each morning before heading into work. I live an hour from the store, so I make that drive every day. I'm pretty much the only sole person that, you know, operates the store. I do have a college girl that helps me from time to time. Other than that, it's pretty much me. I source it all. I bring it all home. I wash all of it. I sit in the store all day, do all my own photographs, own social media, my own website. So it gets a little time consuming. So after sitting in the store all day, then it's normally time to come home, dinner, couple of loads of laundry a night. Just the nature of the beast, nature of what I do. A lot of that time is also spent doing private appointments where people will call me and, you know, say my grandmother passed away or my mother passed away. Could you come look, you know, at what we have at the house? Or I'll preview a couple of estate sales during the week. So I pretty much have appointments packed in there almost daily in addition to everything else.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And so the audience, so just so you know, we always share all of your links that you're going to tell us about that you want shared here at the end in the show notes. And so it is absolute eye candy what you do on your social media. And I'm saying that, selfishly, I just devour everything. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, your work is just beautiful, and how you just merchandise it for, for your audience. It's amazing.
Thank you. I can confidently say it's probably my absolute favorite part of what I do, if not a close second.
Well, it shows. It shows. So I'm so excited to share that with the audience. So you talked a little bit about how you came into opening your shop. Dive into maybe what do you most love about, and you just talked about the social media, but what do you love about I'm just so excited to connect with you about the sourcing part of it, or just your, the ability to go preview and just step into these sometimes time capsules. It's got to just be exhilarating.
Yeah. Well, that's it right there in a nutshell. I mean, for people who have been bit by this bug like I have, it's the total thrill of the hunt, because
Yeah.
you just never know what you're going to find. So that's the most exciting part for me. And then I tell people all the time, I mean, it's the question I get asked most often in my store. I'll get asked it, 5, 10 times a day sometimes. Oh my gosh, where do you get all this stuff? And, I'll have to explain to them, what I do and how it happens. So I do love that aspect of it for sure. And then two, I tell people it's not so much the fashion part of it that drives me. I mean, in reality, I've worn a uniform my whole life and never got to dress up. So that's something that, is new to me that I'm learning and having fun playing around with too. But for me, why I do it is, I don't know, I'm just such a sentimental history lover that I feel like these things need to be given to somebody who will appreciate them and then pass them on to somebody else who is going to appreciate them. It saves it from the landfill. These are special pieces, sometimes absolutely rare, one of a kind gems. And to me, I almost feel like I'm the curator of that stuff, like to be able to tell somebody's story. And that's another thing. If you come into my store, I have a special tag on a lot of my clothing that will say, I belong to somebody special. Ask about me. And I try to ask the story or the history behind every person whose house I go to. Like, do you have pictures of your mother wearing this dress? And tell me about your mom. When was she born? Who was she married to? What kind of cool things was she involved in her life? And I will put that on a tag and include the picture if I'm lucky enough to be able to get them. It's just, I don't know, it's carrying on a legacy for me that I think is important.
It is going back to, and again, I'm just clearly learning you. It is going all the way back to Show Me the World War II album.
Yeah.
You are carrying a legacy. You are saving it. You are passing it on, and there's almost a duty bound draw for that. It sounds like for you.
Yeah, I felt, and that's absolutely true. From the time I was little, I remember by the time I was in high school, me and my mom were going to historic home tours, and we were members of like Tarrant County Historical Commission. And my mom loves history as well, and all things old, collected antiques my whole life. So it was just something that I was born into for sure.
Are you finding that there are more, it's a more diverse, with the younger generations? Are they coming in as much and being, because, I think as collectors and lovers of all these things, do we pass it on organically? Are they drawn to your store? Because I know because of your social media, I'm thinking that they are, but do you see them come in and just, are they inquisitive, the younger generations?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's fun to see the younger generation take an interest in this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
For some of them, I would say I think that they're just interested in it because it's a hot button right now, and vintage is very trendy, and it seems to be what everybody wants right now. So I would say it may be a half and half situation. I think some of them are into it just because it's what their friends are wanting to wear. But some of them, some of my regular customers who I, converse with often, I know they're like me. They love it for
Yeah.
what it is and who had it and what it represents.
Some of those stories that you feature, and that is just such just a cherished that you do that you do the ask about me and tell my story. I think one of the ones that really maybe stopped me in my tracks was a wedding dress, and you had
Yeah.
her photo. Yes. It's just, it is, you are curating this, and how special, just to know for the families and all those things. You're doing magical work on top of what you're loving to do.
Oh,
So
well, thank you. Thank you.
yes,
I'm glad
you
somebody
really are.
appreciates it. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and I even, I get to go in these houses weekly, and I mean, you would be blown away at what some people will get rid of or are okay with getting rid of and not keeping. And it's fascinating to me that in my own home, I have books and, boxes and things where I've archived letters from, soldiers back home to their wives and back to them during the war, with their pictures, with their
Mm.
dog tags that other people didn't want and were going to sell. And I take it, I bring it home, I read them all. I, put them all in chronological order. I have them on display. I love them so much. So I love old photos. I collect all that stuff too. It's just, I don't know. I don't know why. It's important to me.
It is. It's important, and it's important, period. It truly is. Oh, goosebumps.
And what I
You're
tell
giving me
people,
goosebumps.
what I tell people too, just one quick blurb about why it's important to me is a little quote that I saw that says, why I love the past. I mean, have you seen the present lately? and I
Oh,
thought that's so
right.
true. I mean, it's so different. Times were so much, maybe not easier, but simpler and pure
Yes.
in a way.
Right.
And I think
Oh,
that's what I long for. And I think maybe what a lot of other people today long for.
there's a nostalgia about that. And then, and I know this is kind of going off a little bit, but I'm finding, you know, the newer, younger generations, I won't call the categories out because but they are craving what we grew up with. They know that it's there, and the connections and the intimacy of that and the respect of different things. They are craving that because they know it's there. They've seen it. And I think that's such a big draw. Technology is fantastic, as we were, giddy about earlier, but they require that one-on-one and that connectivity. So keep
Yeah,
doing it, milady.
agree.
All right. So we want to let you share a little bit here. Yes. About, you just have some amazing, impressive achievements that I say, you've earned. You've done, the audience, you've heard a morsel of what a day in the life might look like for her, sun up to sundown, and then some. But you've got some wonderful accolades, and we'll share those in the show notes so the audience can go back. And you've been in some fantastic features in some magazines, just very notable, wonderful things. Is there any specific achievement, accomplishment, or milestone over this journey that you are most proud of that you want to share with the audience and talk a little bit more about?
I mean, I'm thankful for all of them. It's all, fun. Nothing I ever set out to do or, to try to achieve those things. I mean, in my wildest dreams, when I thought a couple of years ago, I want to have a store, it was never even in my radar that I would be talked about in a magazine or the newspaper or anything like that. And it's always fun, but also a little cringy. um, I'll have people come in and say, "Oh, I've read about you or I've heard about you," and I know it's a little cringy for me, but in some of those little awards and things that I've won, or contests, whatnot, they can be a little skewed. So I don't put too much weight in them. I mean, I think what fuels me and what makes me most happy is when, well, it's the customers and the friends that I've made, for sure. I mean, I've had people, come in and that are now such, great friends. They will pray with me in my store. They'll call me, "Hey, I'm on my way. Do you want a Dr. Pepper? Do you need a coffee? Can I bring you lunch?" And for me, the big reward, well, that is the big reward, really. But two, to have, so many people come in the store, and I get people from all over different, states, different countries. And it's funny to me because I sit back and the door will open and I will greet them. And the first thing I hear is, "Oh my gosh," or "Oh wow," or "Oh my gosh, so we're going to be here a while." I think, when you come in the store, it can be a little overwhelming. It's bigger on the inside than what you would think from the outside too. And then, after they've looked at my store, the compliments that I get from people saying, "We've been in every vintage store from here to Paris, LA. This is the best vintage store I've ever been in. Where you must travel a lot to get these things, or you must, have all these people sourcing for you." And I tell them, "No, it's just me, and it's all Fort Worth." They're a little shocked, but those things, those personal compliments, is what fuels me and makes me feel good, and makes me realize I got to be doing something right.
Thinking through the things that you have achieved, I don't know. Are you a goal oriented person? Do you?
Not so
Mm,
much,
yeah,
I'm just going to ride this out and see where it takes me. That's
I
kind
love
of
it.
fly by the seat of my pants. I don't know. Some
Yes.
days I fantasize about not having a store anymore. Some days I think there is never a way that I would ever not have a store. It totally depends on my mood each day.
Uh-huh.
It depends on the customer base that day or whatnot. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know what's in store for me. Sometimes I envision even a bigger, greater store and going completely all out. A mind blowing destination, shopping location. And then some days I sit back and think, I have such a great Instagram following and I do so well on Instagram. I could do this from home. And so I'm torn and I toy with it every day, which direction I want to go with it. But who knows? Who knows? We will see what happens.
Now I'm fascinated because you're just doing wondrous things. You just are, and it's helpful to everybody, and it's enjoyable, and it's fun, and but I'm hearing what you're saying, and what I'm taking away is you are doing it for the love of it, and you are in service to others. Period. You are just so authentic. This is amazing.
No, thank you.
It
Thank you.
doesn't have to be this, yes, here's my goals. And
Yeah.
it is just what it is. And
Yeah.
it is working and it's magic.
Yeah.
I love
Sometimes
it.
honestly, you fake it till
Yeah.
you make it. And that's, and I'm the kind of
Yeah.
person who, my husband consistently will always, be a little irritated with me because I tend to do something, I learn something, I get real involved in it, and then I move on and I'm over that thing. Like
Right.
I've done that with, my God, I've had antique booths my whole life. I've done wedding flowers. I've done photography. I've taught myself, hair, makeup, Photoshop, painting. There's nothing that, I'm interested in so many things and I want to be involved in all of it. But I'm also the kind of person who gets bored easily and I'm ready to move on to something else. So who knows? I don't think that I will ever be able to quit doing kind of what I'm doing. I think for the rest of my life, I will be buying and reselling in some form of fashion. It's just who I am, but we'll see.
Oh, I'm just so tickled to hear you share your story. This is amazing. You shared a little bit as you were talking about your customers. My question on that would be, as an independent business owner, where do you find support? You talked about how your customers, your loyal customers, come and they call you, or they come pray with you, or bring you a little treat or something. But where do you turn when you need support?
Well, my family, this is not easy for them to put up with either. I've got, clothes all in the garage. I've got clothes all in the laundry room every day. It's like a big giant processing station around my home. But So obviously my family and friends and customers, I mean, one of the greatest things about having the store is the friendships that I've developed within my customers. So I would say that's my main source of support and motivation is when I hear all those good things like, this is amazing, your store is amazing, this is the funnest store I've ever been to, that's what fuels me and that gives me support.
So rewarding. So rewarding. Oh my goodness. All right, Laura, we're going to take a quick break to hear from this episode's sponsor. We'll be right back. I personally have been investing with Ashcroft Capital for about 5 years. I know the co-founder, Joe Fairless, pretty darn well. He's my brother, so I can personally vouch for him and how he approaches things. I like investing with Ashcroft because of the monthly cash flow. They buy apartment buildings, improve them, and then sell them. It's a good business to be in, and I'm glad to passively invest with them. You can learn more at ashcroftcapital.com. That's ASHCROFT capital.com. All right, milady, we are back, and I'm watching the time. Can I squeeze a couple more quick questions in here?
Sure.
Awesome. And this one is a doozy. Everybody loves this one, and it might be more of a two-part. So can you think of a specific point in time, event, or key situation in your professional life that really forced you to take a monumental shift? And with that result, positive or painful, how did going through that help you grow?
Oh boy, these are the deep questions, huh?
Yes, we're going we're going deep. Yeah.
I can't really think of anything. I mean, what comes to my mind first when you ask that question is change. And for example, in 2019, I was so ready to call it quits, so ready to retire. But you're scared to death. You think, what am I going to do? This is all I've ever known. This is my steady income. This is my livelihood. So it's a little terrifying when you try to make that leap into something else. And I had my husband's full on support during that time, and that helped. And then the thought of, what am I getting myself into? Am I crazy to want a store? It's a lot of work having a brick and mortar. There's all these hoops you have to jump through, and lease contracts and insurance policies and property taxes and inventory taxes and all these things. And then all that happened right during the middle of COVID too. And I'm thinking, am I going to survive COVID? I mean, during the shutdown. But you know what? What I would tell anybody is, if you have a goal, you just have to do it. I mean, you're always going to wonder what if you don't. So I'm just the kind of person, if I want to do something, I just do it. If it doesn't work out, then, nothing lost. But, I'm sure I'm glad that I made this move and took the leap. I mean, it's definitely worth it. So that's all I can say about that. You want to do something, you just got to go for it.
Well, we're grateful you did it too.
Thank you.
Yes. And telling those stories. Wow. All right, my lady, we all crave great resources that may help inspire, uplift, expand our minds. Do you have a favorite resource or author or anything mentor that you'd like to share with us? And what makes it a favorite?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't have time to read much of anything. I also am not a TV watcher. Do not ever sit down to watch TV. Mentors, I've learned so much because I went into this not knowing a single thing. My mentors are a couple of people, and I won't name them, but for example, it's some of my buyers that started buying from me early on, who have been buying for a long, long time, collecting vintage. And I can always call about a handful of people and say, here's what I have. I think I have something special. Let me send you pictures. And they'll tell me, wow, here's what this is. They'll tell me what to look for. Sometimes, if I'm doubting what to ask for something after I've done my research, I can always shoot it to those few friends of mine, and, collectively we'll come up with an asking price. There's sometimes I'll get things that I don't know anything about and I can't research them online. And, I call those guys and they'll help me out. So that's really my main source of mentorship, is just local people that I've come to know in the business.
Building those relationships because you've been in service to others. It's
Thank
amazing.
you. Thank
The
you.
collaborations are invaluable. Would you
Yep.
agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, now I've got Stephen Porterfield from Antiques Roadshow in my contacts. And so, we talk pretty often. And so I can always ask him about things now too. In fact, he has recently purchased one of my dresses. So that's always a fun contact to have because he literally knows everything.
Love that show.
Yeah.
Oh, how joyful. So happy for you. Wow, this is great.
Thank you.
All right, my lady. It has been amazing visiting with you today. And as we begin to wrap up, keeping the promise to share intentional inspiration with the audience, do you have a piece of key go-to advice that you'd like to share?
Well, I would say that what I just said. I mean, if there's anybody out there that, is dreaming of starting a business or doing anything for that matter, just do it. I mean, you have to have confidence in yourself, just to go for it and do it. Fake it till you make it. 9 times out of 10, I would say it's going to work out and you won't regret it. And if it doesn't work out, then you're smarter and better for having tried it and you've learned something. So that would be my piece of advice.
Perfection, ultimate perfection. Love that. All right, the stage is completely yours. Where can our audience go to find and connect with you on your socials or whatever you want to share with us and support you in your continued success?
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm probably most active on Instagram, which is Studio 74 Vintage. Also on Facebook at Studio 74 Vintage. Have a website, which is also Studio 74 Vintage. Not too active on the website. I would say follow my Instagram if you want to see the eye candy and learn more.
And it is definitely all of that.
Thank you.
I tell you what. Well, you just do amazing work. And it shows. It really, really shows. So thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
All right, my lady. It has been a guilty pleasure for me connecting with you finally. And I appreciate you taking time today. Thank you for sharing your Silhouette of Success story with us. You are truly a light and inspiration.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks again for having me.
All right, my lady. Until next time, enjoy your day.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Silhouettes of Success podcast. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on all the new episodes. We are here for you and with you. We encourage you to share this podcast on all your socials and pass on the light to help illuminate another silhouette of success. To find out the latest ways to inspire your heart, ignite your mind, and gain actionable insights, subscribe at thesilhouettesofsuccess.com or connect with us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. We're grateful that you tuned in. Remember, you are exactly where you need to be, right here with us. This is the Amber Weitzer podcast, Silhouettes of Success.